So EA have finally confirmed about shadow patching. And of course, we all know that they're going to deny it. Well, not all of us. Um, they're going to deny it, right? But the thing is, people don't understand is the shadow patch never existed. And I'm going to tell you this from someone who's an, I would say I would call myself an expert of this game. I study it for 20 hours a day, both casual level and pro level. I have an avid interest and I go beyond what's even required for me to do what I need to do. However, what I would say is you don't ask a random person about brain surgery on the street. If you had to go into surgery tomorrow and you had a choice between someone who reads newspapers about surgery, hasn't got a degree in medicine, and you have someone who's got 20 years experience, who are you going to choose? It's like most things in life. You would go to some sort of expert. Experts are not always right. They can get things wrong. I get things wrong with FC, but you'd always go with the expert. And the problem is a lot of people in this community, they don't want to listen to people that know what they're talking about. And even if they do, they just think their opinion is the correct one. And that's football. Even I commentate on Arsenal. Sometimes you might see me when I post stuff. And I'm not saying I'm always right, but I talk about Arsenal. I say things like I don't like Havertz, for example. I think when he came, I thought it was amazing for our system. But I talk about Arsenal and, for example, this, that. I'm not always right. I'll be the manager. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But I think the difference is that when an average person talks about something, they're open to listen what's right and what's wrong. I think with FC, the problem is because everyone plays it so much and there's so many problems with the game being broken, they think they understand the game. So what happens is people, they just undeniably listen to the other side and they only think what they know or what the community is saying. But remember, this is not like a lemonade stand in the corner of the street. It's not even a corner shop, okay? It's not like a lemonade stand, some kid selling lemonade and hasn't got a license to do it. There's no chance a game would lie about this. People are saying, oh, they're lying about the shadow patch. There's no chance a game of this stature, one of the biggest companies in the world, would ever lie about this. You would get done if you get caught. It's not worth the lie. So, especially at this turbulent times, I was actually surprised that they came out with this. But you can see, over the last few weeks, we have speculation that gameplay has made changes to the gameplay or whatever, or shadow patch. I'm not going to bother reading this. But the biggest issue is servers and delay, which are attributed not to DDA or scripting or anything else like that. It's the game being broken and servers. Those are the two things that cause inconsistent gameplay. The only people that are saying, oh yeah, the game is shadow patch, are the people that are losing. That's the only people. Have you ever heard anyone who's winning saying the game is being shadow patched is so terrible? And the thing is, people who couldn't defend their entire life have now been caught out, but also people have adapted. If I threw 10 random people in the jungle and I said, go survive in the jungle, maybe one or two may pass, but I guarantee maybe a lot of them are going to be like, we got to survive it. We got to build a shelter. Maybe in the first 2 days, they're going to be all over the place looking for a helicopter to escape. But then you got to start thinking, okay, we got to build a shelter. We got to go find food. So you're going to fend for yourself. So you're going to adapt and evolve just as humans, as we normally have, and how historically we always have done so. So what people do is they adapt to the patch. So in the beginning, it was a disaster. I was winning way more games and the foot champs, very easy because people couldn't defend. But now it's a bit different. A combination of better players. Now there's so many good players. If you literally want a good centre back, let's assume when you get the right opinions from the right person, you can get one of the best centre backs inside the game for like only a couple 100k. You can get some really good SBCs. Kusanov only costs 70k, but an 89 sprint speed, 87 defense awareness. This wasn't the case 1 or 2 months ago where it was. We're like Rule Baker's Kunde, but people couldn't afford him or they didn't understand why he was good. So this is another big thing as well, is that it's not only has gameplay changed, it's the players that have come out that's changed. So people have adapted and they got better. But yes, without a shadow of a doubt, there has been no shadow patch. Now, I don't know why, but with this game in particular, people, they just want to deny any other thing and they just want to think they're right. And I think that's the wrong way of looking at it. You should always question what you're talking about. And I think biggest people don't understand scripting. They don't understand DDA, even though it doesn't exist. Maybe the only argument you could ever give is for DDA, but truthfully, we will never know. But I can tell you from my testing, when I'm losing 2-0 and I hit the post, I'm telling you for a fact that DDA isn't there. Even if DDA existed, EA would want all the best teams in the game to win, not a cheaper team, because they want you to spend more money. That's a basic business model they will do. If anyone was running it, would just obviously make the better team win because they want you to spend more money. But you can see, and I think there's issues. You know, for example, PC Hackers has been there from day one. That's why I said to all of you guys, look, if you're on console, turn off cross-platform. Turn it off. Because there's so many cheaters in the game. PC just full of cheaters. People get upset when I say this. I know the gameplay is better, but there's so many cheaters in every single game. Like whether it's Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, any game that's based on PC, someone is injecting some sort of cheat and they can inject something. That is the sole reason why the market is not available, or it's not the same market. The markets can be combined for the consoles, right? So let's say, for example, we look at some of these cards, but PC has to have its own separate market. I think this doesn't even show the market, but let's say we go on Footbin. Let's have a look at Viali, his new card. You can see there's, well, there should be two. So it's PC and then you have cross-platform. Because there could be a hack one day that could just mess up the market. I mean, it's just a basic business decision I think anyone would make. It's not even like something special. But what I'm saying is, Matt actually brings up a big question here. Why is it never the same speed? That I honestly don't know. I think it's a combination of three things. I think server overloads. I think gameplay in general, with the game being broken. And the third thing I would probably say is to do with connectivity on the individual side. But sometimes I got the best internet money. I got a business lease line, 3 gigabit. Up and down, I'm telling you. I get 4 ms and I sometimes get worse connection than if I play with 20 ms. So I think it's sometimes who's playing who and all these small things that are all taken into account. But we know it's not gameplay, as Donk said. It's the servers. So these are all the things that people don't understand. And what I want to say is, look, I'm not saying that the average person needs to be a genius about the game. You don't need to be. But when there's people like me that are literally giving out this advice for free, right? I'm not saying that you should listen to me and trust everything I say. That's up to you. You could do whatever you want. It's a free country. But I'm saying listen to all opinions. Just because 99% of the community are following each other like sheep and repeating the same thing again and again, it doesn't mean you should just believe it. Just because everyone does it, it doesn't mean that they know what they're doing. And that's why I come back to the old analogy. Okay? I always say it's a basic thing. You don't ask a random person on the street about brain surgery. If you're going into theatre, let's say you need to have a surgery, and you have the choice, let's say you went private, for example, someone by a gesture, free will offer to pay for it for free, let's say, I don't know, and your choice between two doctors, X and Y. You didn't know anything about them, you didn't know their name, their education, nothing. One does it every single day for his entire life for the last 20 years. One person does a surgery on a casual basis, not really an expert in that field, and does it a few times. Who are you going to choose? But anyway, at the end of the day, I suppose at the end of the day, you have to always make up your decision. But it's a step in the right direction. I think people get the wrong idea saying the game is bad. Look, I agree on the professional scene, it's a bad thing. You can see 15-50 on the pro scene because there's mechanic abuse versus mechanic abusing. But for the average casual player who's playing against the other average casual player, just improve your defending. Half of this wouldn't even be an issue if you improve your defending. But some people want a boring game. That's fine. If you want a realistic game, you don't want Pele to play on a pitch because unfortunately he's passed, or you don't want, for example, Heung-min Son playing for Arsenal because you're a Tottenham fan or something, then go play kickoff. Go play 25 minutes half and go play slow against AI. If you want to make it realistic, it's a video game, guys. Come on.